What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video, and I know it's been some time and I do apologize for that. I've been trying to do a lot of things lately and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and that's make these videos once again, because the passion that I have for this team unfortunately still runs through my veins. And I say unfortunately because this team looks awful to start the year. So we are going to talk about the Maple Leafs, and we're going to talk about what I think is going to happen and what could happen. And I know you guys will have your thoughts down below. But I will say before I start, you're going to see two jerseys behind me. One Leafs one Jays one. I have a new channel. It's called Batting Sixth. You'll see it on the screen right now and the pinned link in the comments down below. If you want to watch Blue Jays content, I'm also posting on there. So please go subscribe there. My goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you could subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. And I know you guys are all Jays fans like myself, or most of you hopefully are. So please subscribe there. But I need to go on a rant about this Maple Leafs team. They don't have the heart of the Blue Jays. I'll be honest with you there. There's a lot of topics we need to discuss here, and I hope that you guys will watch this whole video and hear out what I have to say. One thing that we're gonna get out of the way right away. We are not talking about Mitch Marner in this video, okay? I'm going to give my thoughts right now about it. Do not come in here and say that this team misses Mitch Marner. Of course they do. My point with Mitch, and I've said it the whole time, this wasn't a hockey decision. Mitch Marner and the Maple Leafs made almost like a breakup decision, like a relationship. These two it didn't work out. It didn't work out. There was personal issues going on behind the scenes. There's stuff that even I've heard about, and I'm not even a guy that gets inside sources, but I've heard it. And listen, it's been broadcasted out there many times. Mitch Marner and the Maple Leafs, they broke up. It was a personal thing. It wasn't a hockey decision. That's just how it is. And I hope that he's killing it, and I know he's killing it. And I wish Mitch nothing but the best. I've met him in person. He was nice to me. That's how I'll remember him. So I hope he's doing really well, and I know he's doing really well. So go out there and kill it, Mitch, in Vegas. You're doing really well. Keep up the great work. But the Maple Leafs, on the other hand, and this is where the discussion gets in. I kept telling people, and I've said it in many videos before, and I'm not saying I'm right, because trust me, I'm wrong a lot. Be careful what you wish for. You keep changing the coach, you keep changing the GM, you keep changing everything, and it doesn't stick, okay? I'm not going to get too much on Berube here. There's only a few things that I have. I think Berube picks on certain players way too much. He doesn't call out guys that were brought in here to be difference makers, and they're not doing it. You know, your bottom six, they never get called out. He's always taking shots at Nylander, whatever. We're not going to talk about that. Berube, he gets a pass because I still think there's more from him, and I don't think that he's necessarily the problem. The team itself, there is a ton of issues, but I'm sorry, I have to take shots at Brad Treliving here, and this is where I say be careful what you wish for. Brad Treliving went out and made decisions that everybody thought were going to work. Well, not everybody, but some people thought, and I've said it, a million people have said it, he took a lot of shots. He took a lot of maybes. He took a lot of ifs. And again, because the comment section is always crazy, I'm going to tell you again, I do not think that this is all Brad Treliving's fault. A lot of these players are at fault, trust me. But when you bring in a bunch of maybes, you bring in a bunch of guys that are, they could be good, you're not doing what you should be doing with open cap space. You're not doing what you should be doing with free cap space. And we now know that David Kampf's contract is off the books, mutually terminated, so that money comes off. But I want to talk about the shots that he took, okay? Let's look at the lineup when it's fully healthy, okay? Matthew Knies, Austin Matthews, William Nylander. Fine. That's not his doing. Nick Robertson, Johnny T, Bobby McMann. Not going to go after these guys because Bobby McMahon's been better this year. Nick Robertson has been better this year. I'm going to look at Joshua Domi Machelli. Domi, again, you could have traded him. I personally want a guy that can still drop the gloves and isn't afraid to do stuff. So Domi, it's like a half pass because in the playoffs, for some reason, Domi just becomes one of the best forwards on the Maple Leafs. So he's one of those guys where you're like, well, if he shows up in the playoffs, I guess he's giving you what he's worth. but maybe they might not even make it there, okay? Joshua, Michelli, Waugh was in a trade with Marner. I'm not going to blame him necessarily because, Waugh coming over, obviously I want more production out of him, and he's a guy that I am going to take aim at a little bit here, but I'm not blaming Treliving for bringing in Waugh because it was basically a free asset. Scott Lawton was an awful trade. Calle Yarncroke, you had a chance to trade him. Steven Lorentz, I still like him. The blue line has been atrocious, but these are the guys that I do trust. The problem is that they've been atrocious this year. Brandon Carlo has been really bad. Riley has been, off and on. McCabe and Tanev, they just, I'm not going to put too much on them. Ekman Larson and Benoit. Again, Ekman Larson will give you that offensive flair. Benoit hasn't really been the same. He hasn't really done much, to be completely honest with you. He's kind of been lost in the shuffle, lost in the sauce. Same thing with a lot of their depth guys. Wall, obviously, we're not going to talk about him because he's just coming back. And Stolars has been really bad, unfortunately, to start the year. But again, you're looking at that lineup. Dakota Joshua has been invisible, okay? He's been invisible. Michelli has been invisible for most of the season, both of those guys. They haven't done much of anything offensively or defensively. We're not getting much out of them. Scott Lawton keeps getting injured, but even when he's in the lineup, he has no place. He has no idea what he's doing out there, unfortunately, because I actually like Scott Lawton, and I was happy to have him, but you traded away a prospect and a first-round pick for him last season. It didn't work out. You took a shot at Joshua. It didn't work out. You took a shot at Michelli. It didn't work out. Calle Yarncroke, you had a chance to trade him. He's a good depth piece. You could have traded him. You didn't trade him. Now he's on the books. And the reason why I'm bringing these guys up is because $3.2 million, $3.45 million, $3 million for Nick Waugh. You didn't have to get Nick Waugh, but it makes sense that why you got him. Scott Lawton, $1.5 million. Yarncroke, 2.1. Max Domi, if you want to bring him up, 3.7. Carlo, 3.4. Again, these are not cheap contracts that you bring in via trade or via free agency. When you remove, like, let's just, for the sake of it, I'm gonna just do this off screen really quickly, okay? Let's say you trade Joshua Michelli and Calle Yarncroke. If they would have traded Yarncroke in the offseason, and if they would have, not acquired either one of Michelli or Joshua, which I keep having to remind you because I know there's already people in the comments saying, oh, well, it makes sense. It made sense at the time, blah, 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 blah. Congratulations. That's great. But the problem is that you need to get guarantees when your window is closing, okay? And the Maple Leafs window is closing. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of teams around them are getting significantly better. And we'll see that in the standings. But this is the type of money you would have if you didn't have Joshua Michelli or Yarncroke. $12 million for you to go out there and at least fill in a couple gaps. $12 million. You're telling me we couldn't have allocated that money better elsewhere? There couldn't have been other players that we could have used? Like, let's look at the numbers here. Willie, 25 points in 15 games. Having a fantastic season. And again, Nylander's never been good defensively, so I don't know why people are asking him to change now. You have to cover up for guys like that. We've got an offensively gifted guy. He doesn't play both sides of the ice. We can't do much about it. Tavares, exceptional. 23 points in 18 games. He plays both ends of the ice. Same thing with Nice, 22 and 18. He's been pretty good in my opinion. Matthews, we need more from him. Matthews, we need more. I know he's injured right now, but we need more from Austin Matthews. Morgan Riley, putting up points, not exactly the numbers that you would want from him defensively. He hasn't been good. Oliver Ekman-Larsson giving you good offense. And then the only other forward in double digits is Nick Robertson besides the top guys. It's just unacceptable. It's so unacceptable. Bobby McMahon, not a bad start, but not great. Michelli, I don't understand what he's doing out there. Domi only shows up in the playoffs, I guess. Joshua has been terrible. Lorentz hasn't given you any depth. Yarncroke had that really good start, and he hasn't done anything since. Easton Cowan looks like he needs more time. Nick Waugh hasn't done anything offensively, and he hasn't even been a standout defensively, but I'm not blaming him. Scott Lawton, who's only played in 2 games, has done nothing. We're not getting any depth. The money that was spent on these gritty, big forward guys, they're not playing big. They're not being physical. They're not fighting. They're not scoring. They're not banging pucks in. They're not doing anything. So why did we get them? And I have to remind you once again, because of the comment section, I am not blaming this all on Treliving. I'm equally giving blame to the players here. Defensively, they've been atrocious. The goaltending, again, I'm sorry, I got to bring it up. Stolarz, I know he's also hurt right now, but 3.51 and an 884 after just signing a new contract. Hildeby, 381, 904. Listen, I am so happy Joseph Woll is back, and his family, I hope everything went okay there. He doesn't need to talk about it. It's none of our business. And I'm praying that Stolarz gets better in terms of his playing. But the goaltending has been atrocious. Defensively, the whole team has been atrocious. And besides like Nylander, Tavares, and Nyes, nobody else is really showing you, okay, like we can put up a bunch of points on any given night. And the only other guys that I'll give a pass to on the forwards is Robertson and Bobby McMahon, because both of them have played games where they're the most noticeable person on the ice multiple times this year. And they're not getting paid the same as some of these other guys, even the guys below them in points, like a Michelli, like a Dakota Joshua, like a Nick Waugh, even a Steven Lorentz, right? A lot of these guys are getting paid more than what McMahon and Robertson are making, like less than $2 million each. Yeah, Robertson 1.8, Bobby McMahon 1.3. Then you've got Nick Waugh at 3. You've got Lawton at 1.5. You've got Domi at 3.7. Like, and then Joshua and Michelli, these guys making like $3.5 million. You have to go out there and play better hockey as a team. But it's not just the players themselves. The bodies added to this team have been atrocious, and that starts with the GM. I'm sorry. That's just it. The GM is also at fault here. This is a bad mix of players. It's not working. So change something. And I will be back with another video because I'm scared that Cowan is about to get traded for Rasmus Andersson, who, by the way, has not been good this year. Just because he has name value, and now all of a sudden, like, it's hilarious to me. Anderson hasn't been that good, and now all of a sudden, he's back on the trade block. Maybe the Flames are going to trade him. Of course, because he's losing his value. The Flames would have got a king's ransom in the offseason, but he hasn't been that good. So of course they want to trade him now. The value's slipping, and now could the Leafs trade Easton Cowan? You want to talk about depth and not managing your prospects? Like, we gave up picks for Joshua, Lawton, Michelli. We gave up draft capital for all of those players. Be careful what you wish for, because it's not working. I'll see you guys in the next video.